Did you see the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami?
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go fair play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative.
But Jake Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding, there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position after the loss to Daniel Dubois. Jake Paul, if this is not going to be, you know, curated into a little dance around exhibition, could find himself in a way of getting seriously hurt here, like Francis Ngannou did.
UFC President Dana White has delivered a scathing critique of the highly anticipated Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul bout, calling it a mismatch that undermines the integrity of professional boxing. White, never one to shy away from controversy, questioned the legitimacy of a fight pitting a seasoned former world heavyweight champion against a YouTube sensation turned boxer. His remarks have sparked heated debates across social media, with fans divided over whether the matchup is a savvy marketing move or a blatant spectacle that diminishes the sport.
Bridge with my brother, unfixable.
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight.
Experience take a back seat to fame and clicks. He argued that while celebrity fights might generate massive pay-per-view numbers, they risk turning the sport into a sideshow rather than a true test of athletic prowess. Eddie Hearn has now confirmed that the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul clash will not be an exhibition but a fully sanctioned professional bout, raising the stakes far higher than many initially expected. What started as a spectacle-driven matchup has suddenly become a legitimate fight with real consequences for both men's careers. Hearn emphasized that Joshua is preparing as if he's facing a top contender, not a crossover celebrity, warning that Paul may not fully understand the level of danger he's walking into. With the fight now moved forward to December 19th after the cancellation of the Tank Davis bout, the boxing world has been thrown into a frenzy.
People around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60 in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out. Would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. Two, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you say no? How can you say...
After his dominant win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul confirmed that his long-awaited showdown with Anthony Joshua is very likely to happen next year. However, with the sudden cancellation of his fight against Hank Davis, the bout has been moved up and is now scheduled for December 19th each. This sudden change has intensified the buzz around the fight, with fans and critics debating whether Paul is truly ready to face a former world heavyweight champion or if the accelerated timeline favors spectacle over sporting merit.
Oh, I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Now, I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that, we've talked a lot about is if it's not for the title, it's looking at Tommy, if he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. And he's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything's possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking.
Now, I know you're aiming for a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been mentioned. Are there any other fighters who aren't world champions that you're looking to face? Yeah, I mean Anthony Joshua. That's the main one we've discussed. If it's not for a title, then Tommy Fury is an option if it's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. I'm adamant about making that fight happen by the end of 2026. Anything is possible. I like challenges, and people criticize me for fighting someone in their prime who's a beast. Honestly, people just want to see me lose. That's really the message behind it all. Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen and has called me, so it's looking very likely for next year. Due to an ongoing lawsuit and active investigation, Gervonta Davis's highly publicized exhibition bout against Jake Paul, originally set for November 14, 2025, in Miami, has been officially canceled. Most Valuable Promotions released a statement confirming that, given the seriousness of the situation, they will not move forward with the event under these circumstances.
The situation, it was supposed to be boxing Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way, way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before anyway. But now it turns out that Gervonta Davis has some allegations about domestic abuse. I don't know too much about the situation, but apparently Netflix have pulled the plug on that fight. It says, here's a tweet I'm reading from Mike Coppinger. As reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December, with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources tell Ring Magazine that December 12th and the 19th are possible.
To clarify the situation, Jake Paul was supposed to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, a man weighing 133 to 135 pounds, which is significantly smaller than Jake Paul. That matchup was ridiculous. I've shared my thoughts on it before. Now, it turns out that Gervonta Davis faces allegations of domestic abuse. Netflix has reportedly pulled the plug on that fight. A tweet from Mike Coppinger reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December, with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources indicate December 12th and 19th as possible dates. Davis is the subject of a civil lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Courtney Rosal, regarding an alleged incident on October 27th at a Miami nightclub where she works. Rosal's filing accuses Davis of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The complaint alleges that Davis dragged and assaulted her through multiple areas of the club, including the stairwell, kitchen, and parking garage. Law enforcement in Miami Gardens confirms an active investigation running parallel to the civil case.
Former boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend. This is according to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. Courtney Russell says she dated Davis for 5 months and recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and other offenses. She claims Davis physically attacked her a number of times during their relationship. Russell claims the most recent incident was Monday at a Miami nightclub. Davis is scheduled to fight Jake Paul in Miami on November.
Jake Paul's audacious call-out of Anthony Joshua, a two-time unified heavyweight champion, has raised eyebrows in the boxing world. Observers find it astonishing that Paul, with his relatively limited boxing experience, would make such bold claims about a fighter of Joshua's caliber.
Paul has just called Anthony Joshua out. Yes, Anthony Joshua, AJ, the two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. This brother called this man out. Oh my God. Now, in a recent clip on Jake Paul's podcast, I think, he basically said that he will beat Anthony Joshua's ass and he has no skill, no chin, and he's too stiff for him. He also apologized to Anthony saying, "Anthony, I'm sorry, we're friends, but I know I can beat your ass." This guy is tapped in the head. Then again, he almost got a fight with Tank. If Tank beat Lamont Roach when they drew, he would have fought Jake Paul. It was lined up, basically. A lot of people get mad when people say he's the face of boxing. These highly rated boxers want to fight Jake Paul. So, I don't know what to say, honestly. But one thing for sure, AJ will never fight. AJ's too classy for that. Way too classy. He respects the sport of boxing too much to fight this guy. Absolute plonker. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And make sure you follow for the most up-to-date and sharpest boxing.
MMA fighter Anthony Smith has commented on Jake Paul's approach to boxing, suggesting that Paul targets legendary fighters to secure lucrative paydays. Smith implies that Paul's strategy involves provoking established names through trash talk, leading to high-profile bouts that generate significant financial returns. This perspective aligns with observations about Paul's matchmaking choices, often involving older or less active fighters, a point of contention among boxing purists.